My name is Francesca Lineberry. I am a mom. I have 5 children. My youngest is 6 weeks old.
I'm Cindy Hanna. I'm a LEAS coordinator and data analyst in the College and Career Readiness program on West Campus.
I'm originally from Sacramento, California, and I resided here in Winston-Salem.
I'm Debbie Hooser, and I'm the budget coordinator here.
And I'm Diane Mounts. I manage training, and I work closely with Debbie on the budgets for the training.
I was in the Navy. I first went in February of 1973, and I got out in December of 1976. And I stayed out a couple years, and then I went back in from 1979, and I retired December of 1995.
I was in the Marine Corps.
And I was in the Army.
I served for 4 years in the late 1970s.
She's older than I, so I served in the 80s.
I went in the military for my GI Bill. I went in 99, April of 99, and I served 8 years active duty Marine Corps.
I had one of my uncles was in the Navy, and I always wanted to be like my Uncle Bill. And all through high school, when everybody was taking the test to go on to college, everybody, what do you want to be when you graduate? And I said, I'm going in the Navy. And everybody just laughed and blew it off. And then when I went in the Navy, everybody was really surprised. But I loved it.
My mom told me I had to get a job or she was kicking me out of the house. So I got a job and left.
I joined because I wanted to serve my country. I was adopted, and I was grateful for being an American citizen, so my choice was to serve the military. I wanted to give my life back to where I am now.
I wanted to be independent. I thought I would get to travel and see the world. And additionally, the education benefits of the GI Bill were appealing to me.
My second enlistment, I enlisted after 9/11. I was in when it happened. And I had a kid already. I enlisted. I re-enlisted. I promised another 4 years, knowing we were at war. And during my enlistment ceremony, they asked me, why? Why? You're a young mom, you've got a little girl at home that needs you, you could get sent off to war? It's the best place I could be to protect her. There was no other place that I could see that I could keep her as safe than right there.
We broke a lot of barriers. Women were first accepted in the Marine Corps in 1918, but it wasn't until 1978 till they appointed the first woman Marine general. So it took 60 years for women to reach the rank of general in the Marine Corps.
And then being a woman in the Marine Corps, we're a minority. It's a little more difficult, but the job I was in, there was lots of us, so I was never isolated.
The male Marines tended to view the female Marines, the women Marines, as inferior.
You have to be prepared for everything. When we find out that we have to be deployed, you have to be mentally ready to be for combat.
To mix in women in a combat situation, not just out in the field, but in an actual combat situation. As a woman, I want to say, oh yay, great, everything's opening up, it's equal, and as a Marine, and as a Marine that knew quite a few combat MOS people, no, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't. That's my honest opinion. I know it's not politically correct, and it's not what everybody wants to hear, but I don't think it's a good idea.
That I'm a little bit mixed on. I'm not sure. I think some can do it.
Now, I have mixed emotions about that. I think women are certainly capable. You know, we as women are resilient, we're strong, we go above and beyond. You know, we're certainly capable. However,
I'm just not really sure. I think there's just too much right now that's going on, and I don't think we're really quite ready for it yet.
I had a platoon sergeant talk down to me, said there was no place in the Army for women, and he kept giving me, telling me stories about how women had lost their children and what had happened to them personally, and he kept giving me jobs that were demeaning. And so I finally spoke up and went to the company commander, who was a female, and she demoted him to supervisor of the janitorial area, so I was pretty pleased with that.
the amount of sexual harassment or sexual assaults or rapes that go unreported is alarmingly high. And it worries me that they will not go reported.
I think women might sometimes think that because they're nurses or medics or I was in logistics and I supported a helicopter unit, whether it was fighter helicopters or bringing supplies or soldiers. I think they feel like they're not as important as those guys out there fighting on the front line, but they're just as important, because without those people behind the lines helping them carry out that mission, they couldn't do it.
When I first got here, we had a lot of adult high school students. Once they found out I was in the military, they'd come up and talk. And some did go in, and I'd tell them, you can't beat it. It's a great job.
If you are thinking about joining the service, look into it. You get to see the world. The military takes care of you. You do get education.
I think everybody needs to serve. Even if you just go in and go as a reservist, something, anything, it'll give you so much. Job experience, it'll make you grow up, it'll make you responsible. Your GI Bill, the money that you get from your GI Bill more than pays for your college. You can actually live off of it and go to school. So it's your job, it becomes your job. All these kids that are struggling to afford college, military will pay for it. There's no struggle.
And if you decide to go in and stay in and make it a career, when you do get out, you've got the training, you can go into a civilian job field. A lot of civilian companies look at veterans. They know we have the discipline, we know, we're hard workers, those kinds of things. So I always tell them, if you don't really know what you want to do and that's an option, go in and talk to a recruiter and figure out what you want to do and then go for it.
I love the drill and ceremonies. I love marching and singing cadences.
That was always a fun part, and just hearing the songs today, the Marine Corps hymn, it kind of stirs that up into you. You feel like this patriotic veteran, and you just want to stand at attention and then march and show respect to the nation.
Makes you proud when you hear it, or somebody recognizes you on Veterans Day and you stand up, and it makes you proud that you served your country. 9
times out of 10, people don't realize I'm a vet. They obviously, they just automatically assume that all vets are male. They know that there's females in the military, but they don't associate veterans as being female. My husband's a Marine, so they'll see him and they'll be like, "Oh, you're a Marine, thanks for your service," and da-da-da, and they'll just talk and talk and talk, and I'm standing over there like a little lost puppy in the rain. And then my husband will go, "My wife, she was a Marine too." "Oh, really?" Yeah, they have those.